Welcome to another day of streaming live development for our game currently called Dream Machine. I'm Joshua Blair, the CEO and founder of Icebreaker Games. Thank you guys for joining us. So yesterday we left off working on our bunker scene here. We were able to do some pretty good lighting throughout the bunker. We also raised the ceiling quite a bit, and we actually had to do some work on our camera and character controllers, which I think is working way better now. And so overall, I think we're making some really good progress on this project. I'm getting pretty excited about it. So today, what I'm thinking is we're going to decorate this hallway here, tunnel, and then potentially also we now created this gap along the wall. I think we need to really decorate these walls a little bit more. They're looking a little plain. And so I'm thinking we really dive into that as well. And if we still have time at the end of the day, I'm thinking we should create some animations, some objects that we can interact with, and potentially like the fridge, for example, we should be able to go up to it, maybe push a button, E or F or something like that, and potentially open up the fridge. So I think if we can get into that today too, that would be pretty awesome. So diving right in, I'm going to start on this scene, or this part of the scene right here. We don't need these guys no more. We can get them out of the way. They were just kind of used as references. And what I'm thinking put here is something that's mostly just like construction based. Like we're going to put in some dirt and some bricks, something like that. Kind of give the illusion that the father or whoever created this bunker, they didn't quite finish it. I think that would look pretty good. So I do have a construction-based package from Cinti Studios, and I might have to download that. But I think for now, I will just go ahead and we'll probably just do a search here. And I'll just put in ground. And I feel like we can find something to use here. It's probably something like this. Now, I know this is very large, and maybe for this, for now, we'll toggle the lighting off, but you can see something like this kind of gives the impression that, they didn't quite finish digging out this part. It is a little big, so we're gonna decrease the size here on the sides. Hopefully that doesn't, yeah, it does, but I don't want it going into the other rooms. Even though, it probably wouldn't matter to have just a little bit of dirt right there. But I prefer not to avoid it. And then I do think it should still extend to the ceiling if we possibly can. Might be a little difficult just because we don't want it to flood into the other walls here. We do have a couple other options. I do want it to be somewhat textured like this, or not just a flat plane. I think that would look better. But I am kind of curious if maybe there's a debris pile that we could look at. And there is, but I bet these, yeah, I figured these would be a little small. But let's take a look and see if we can manipulate this somehow. and make it work for us. Like I said, I do think it should go all the way to the roof. If we can figure out a way, something like that might be. I mean, that looks pretty good. You have a little bit coming through on this side. That side looks good. This might actually work pretty well here. Okay. You have a little bit coming in through down there. Bring it just in a little bit more. I think that's good. That looks good over there too. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, it kind of even looks like a cave-in. But I think I like this. Now the question would be to kind of put some construction stuff here. So let's go ahead and go into the package manager here. Once I'm gonna go to my assets here and I'm gonna type in construction. So you can see I have quite a few things, but what I'm really looking for is this one right here, this polygon construction one. I'm gonna go ahead and update this. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. And then we're gonna import it into the project. That should give us, I think, some pretty cool options as far as the assets go. I didn't think we would need this originally when I first was downloading all the packages. I didn't really know if there was going to be a need, but there is now, and I'm all for downloading it and using it. I really love the Cinti Studios assets. I use them all the time. There's so many of them that gives you a lot of flexibility, especially when you're developing like prototypes. I mean, use stuff like Cinti Studios. It'll help speed things up a lot, especially if you're just a one-man team or even a small team. Use what's available, and then if you can launch that prototype and get a publisher or anything like that, you could always use those funds to hire a team of artists that can come in and make your own custom graphics. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, if you want to take 5 years, 6 years to create a game and you want to create all your own graphics, I'm all for it. Alright, so I will say we are using URP, so this particular package does not come with the URP extraction package. So I'm going to go ahead and just convert all of those to URP right now. You can see the graphic here shows up gray. But then once we go back into it, you can see now they show up just fine. I know they still show up, whatever this color is, pink, magenta, whatever you want to call it, in the preview. You can actually, if that's really bothering you, you can click re-import here. It doesn't seem to be want to work in. Normally, if you re-import these, it'll come back fine, but I'm not too worried about it right now. Let's take a look at some of the options we have in this polygon or low poly construction concept. We could use some of these barrels. I do like these battery chargers and stuff. I feel like we could really put something like that in our workshop here. Something like that. I think that would work. Got Some bricks. Only those bricks were more like grayish almost. We might be able to. Got an air compressor here. It's kind of cool. I'll just drag that in. We'll find a spot for it. Concrete mixer. Could maybe use that somewhere. Not sure about this one. I mean, you would need some pretty major machinery in order to move that kind of stuff. And I don't think, you know, we would have those kind of options. I do think maybe a pallet of concrete or maybe just bags work good. This is kind of what I was looking for. You know, these could be moved, you know, manually. Saw, I like that. Like a miter saw. Although we'd probably want some kind of table to put that on. Get some more fuel tank options. Now this is what I was hoping to put over here. I was hoping for kind of a large industrial size generator. It does look, you know, pretty nice, pretty clean. But I kind of feel like this works. I think it looks, I don't know. You guys can tell me what you think, but I kind of like the crazy, chaotic look to all the cables and whatnot. This to me is almost too clean. I do think we should put one of these hand trolleys or trucks, dollies, however you want to call it. This looks interesting. Not sure if we'll need that. I do like these junk stacks. Some of these just, you know, they look so natural, and it really saves me from having to do a whole lot of work when it comes to designing this. You know, if it's already pre-made like this, just saves time. I mean, look at this one. This one looks really good. I like that a lot. Even got the ladder. I mean, this is already looking fairly decent. And we already have kind of a bucket there, but we could add another one. Oh, that's kind of cool. Some blueprints. Wonder if this is something we could hang on the wall somewhere. Although I mean, it's not it's not exactly the same as our bunker here. But, you know, we never actually have to specify that they're blueprints for the bunker. But we also have some more plants. I did want to add a few in here. A few more in here if we could. Now we had these. Just kind of thinking the only spot that really just makes sense to me is in this kitchen living room. But aside from up here, not sure. Well, I guess we could technically put it over on this shelf over here. I don't know. Not sure I like that. I'll leave it there for now. See if it grows on me. Got some posters. Did want to put some, you know, stuff on the wall today. If I see anything that just kind of makes sense, I might grab it and throw it on there. We have some more of these power boxes. Maybe even put power boxes out here. I don't know. See what else we got. Sandbags, paper, sawhorse. Leave too much room for these bigger machines here. Might just go something like that. I'm curious if there's something maybe taller. I feel like this is getting lost behind all this stuff in the front. But I think it'd be kind of cool to have something just a little bit taller here. We do have some more tarps. That's what I was hoping to find over here, or put over here. We have signs. That's kind of cool. Parking. I want to see how big this thing is. Yeah, it's pretty massive. It's a pretty cool prop here. Guess that would be more for outside, you know, with all the trash and whatnot, but it's pretty cool. I think using something like this one back behind there would just take up too much space. Just kind of going through here. I'm almost wondering if something like this back here, maybe not quite this big. But if we had something like this back here, could get rid of that. So now, I'm not sure I like this, but what I'm just trying to get at is that we could still see the rock or debris back here. We could still see all the stuff in the front, and then we see this nice, storage, concept. Something like that actually might work better. Little big still. I don't know how much wood was actually used in the making of this bunker. You would think the majority of it, would be concrete and brick or whatnot, but maybe furniture, maybe the shelving, maybe he just said, hey, I want a bunch of wood down there, throw that in there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Got tile stacks. I like that. Yeah, I'm glad that we decided to get this package. I like the way this is turning out. I didn't know what to do with garbage. Obviously, the longer you're in a bunker, the more garbage is going to build up. So ideally they would have some type of plan for either storing it or disposing of it or burning it. I almost thought just kind of stacking it up over in the corner would be kind of funny. I would like to get this wheelbarrow in somewhere. Maybe we adjust this. Probably get rid of some of these perfect angles though. And I think with a wheelbarrow, it makes more sense if the handles are pointing out. I don't think anybody would park it in reverse there. Now, I always try to remember when you decorate these scenes, you know, like I said, to get rid of all these perfect angles. In a video game, they exist like crazy, but in real life, I mean, rarely are you putting anything at a perfect 90-degree angle all the time. I think that looks pretty good, but I think we need maybe some lighting over here. Something like this one here, I think would do well. So I'll just duplicate that one and drag that over. And let's move in area here. Turn lighting back on. That looks, you tell me what you guys think, but I think that looks pretty good. I mean, it looks way better than what we originally had. There's a little bit of wasted space, but I don't think we really need it. The cement mixer, I think I'll get rid of. I don't think we need that. I think that looks pretty good. I think now that I put the trash there, maybe we should look at potential trash concept. You know, we do want something over on this side as well. Wouldn't mind using that. I think having, you know, some randomness to these bags is always good. Kind of throwing them into the scene for now. We'll fine tune their placement here in a second. And that's a pretty cool garbage truck there. We even have a garbage. Yeah, that must be in our sci-fi package. Just trying to look for something like this. I don't think it's big enough. Nope. Maybe not something like this, because where are they going to roll it to? But I'm wondering if, you know, there's something big that we can throw a lot of these bags into. I'm going to take a look at that construction pack again. And I'm going to go ahead and just drag that into my asset store. That's where I have all these Cinti Studio stuff. And there were items as well. I didn't really take a look at this. Oh, that's cool. We got some bathroom items. Well, it looked like bathroom items. Like when I first, I don't know why, but when I first looked at this, I saw shaving cream and razors, but it's actually nails and spray cans. That's pretty funny. We got batteries, clipboard, but nothing that I really want to use there. And let's see if I go through this fairly quick here. We have another battery. I don't think we need that. We have some more storage box concept. Thinking if any of these I don't really like. Not a huge fan of these ones, actually. I'm thinking, you know, what if we do something like this? For all we know, this is filled up with food. I like that better. I think so. And then let's see what else we got. I feel like there was a bin in here somewhere. Man, I'm not seeing anything. Here we go. I don't know why this is called a skip. Interesting naming convention. I guess I've never heard it called a skip before. But this is, in general, what I was talking about. We can find a way to fill these with that trash that I was looking for. This one's definitely bigger. This one, I like the look of this one better. Although, like I said, we wouldn't really be rolling it around. This one also comes with a lid. We would want this at least somewhat open. And so then we would, you know, take a lot of these, drag these. I'm thinking we make it look potentially full to the rim here. Find a way to make this look natural here. Be nice if they had one already kind of pre-made that fits in there. You know, something like this. I may potentially turn these off, then we'll see if we can make this work. Obviously a little big, but maybe we can shrink this down a little bit. long as it still looks natural, good with it. And then we would raise that up a little bit. Maybe we lower the lid. Only issue is I don't want any of the bags poke through the top. Like that. Doesn't look too bad. It is fairly natural looking. I will get rid of this. And maybe we drag some of these bags on the front here. Whoever's chore it was to take care of the trash hasn't been doing it for very long. But remember, well, if you guys have been watching, you'd remember. But we're trying to potentially simulate that the portray that the father, he's getting old and he's having difficulties keeping up with the maintenance of this bunker, especially because he's been running the dream machine. Instead of doing like his chores or whatnot, he's focused 100% on the sun. And so that's why like the stove was falling apart and the shower's falling apart. I mean, if I think about this in real life, if you were stuck in a bunker with your father and he's getting old, but you're still really young, you know, you're not going to know how to fix a lot of these things, and whether or not he has the health to teach you is a whole nother story. So, you know, really just, I think it makes sense that you know, the bunker would, you know, potentially fall behind like this. Maybe we throw another one over here. Maybe just one more. Yeah. Turn on the lights again. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, I didn't have any major plans for this corner over here. So this is at least something. I mean, we can still decorate the side of the walls here, I think, with something. You know, could be more construction stuff. Could be more boxes. Could be more barrels. Could be more water concepts. You know, we put some water jugs in here. Over there. Yeah, do something like that. Could even use this. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before. But I think this is the preferred way of storing water. Maybe we throw a couple more jugs over here. I don't want to cloud this hallway too much. You know, you are going to be coming in and out, you know, quite a bit. So having a little bit of stuff in here, I think would work. That's that jug. I think this will work for now. I do want to also take this lighting and I'm going to duplicate it again. But I'm going to rotate it. This down. Just in this general area here. I noticed it's not all the way in the ceiling. I didn't notice that earlier. I think it's got to go up there. You have this big old box in here. It almost make more sense if it was coming out. Wouldn't be too bad. Here we go. See what that looks like. Huh? I like it. It'll work. Otherwise, we could go down to just the single version instead of the triple version. But I think since this is a long, drawn-out hallway, just the triple works fine. We could go down to the single, but I think it's okay. I might even take the single and extend it over to the classroom, just kind of like saying, hey, we needed more light. You need light to learn, I think. That's an important part. Still not a fan of this lamp and its light on the wall. I'm actually thinking about changing this. More of a light like this, more of a steady light. Or even that. And what we can do is very similar to, you know, these other ones that we've been working on. We can go ahead and add a spotlight. Now, so now it's going to push that light down, so to speak. I'm going to change the rotation. Try to match the angle of the light here. Of course, we'll fine-tune this inside the scene. I just want to get it somewhat in the right area. That's good. And then we'll go ahead and create that illuminated bulb look. So we'll use this material that I created a while back, called Bright White. Tell right away that just kind of looks like a bulb that's been turned on. We're gonna kind of throw that in there. Of course, we'll shrink it down. Look better. Actually, might have to increase the size here. Have an interesting shaped bulb. Having an issue really trying to center this thing. Something like that works. I think that'll do just fine. And now you can see we have the spotlight effect. Maybe we don't want it to be too overbearing. I almost think, I don't know why, but when I think lighting, especially like this, I tend to think, well, what are we showing the player? I feel like there should be something there being kind of highlighted by the light itself. I want to check that angle. But I think that looks better than the one that we had there originally. We'll figure out something to put there in time. I do want to organize all this stuff too when we get a chance. I want to leave it all and just kind of loose in the hierarchy here. Go ahead and play test this real quick, kind of see what it really looks like. You can see, you can move around. This is much more of a smoother experience. The mouse makes it so I can look at everything. It feels so small, you know, but like I said, we are, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe like 8 years old, maybe. Might be a little short for an 8-year-old. But we can adjust that if we want to go just maybe a hair big. This looks cool. Checking the colliders. You can see we can't really get through any of this stuff. Got the main door over here, which we can't go out here yet. That'll be pretty fun to do, but we're getting there. I think we got a floating bag. Floating bags. Have to fix that. Run into here. New lights. Yeah, I can't even. A toilet floating too. Pretty high. desk and everything feels appropriate size though. The lockers. I think he could, you know, potentially be increased just a little tiny bit. I mean, we're talking maybe 1.1. Something like that. And then let's adjust these bags here. Definitely don't want floating objects. Don't think that would make this toilet, man. That was really how elevated that is. I don't know how we didn't notice that for so long. All right. So I'm going to kind of look from this angle here, and I'm gonna just place these objects into their coordinated room. You can see this was more of the bedroom concept here. I guess we can delete these trash bags. We're not using those. We didn't really have one for the hallway. We could go ahead and add that now. I'll create an empty hallway. So a lot of these should be hallway items. Plant or the plans. I try to keep this whole thing, you know, fairly organized if we can. Now, the bigger your scenes get, the more chaotic they are. I think that looks much better. Now I think we're going to try to focus on the walls here. You know, we did fairly well here in the workshop. You can see, I mean, adding the blueprints and this whatnot, all of these junction boxes. This one doesn't look too bad. But I'm wondering if we can potentially add a group of pipes, something like this. This might be just a little bit too much. Oh, it's way up there. You can see how the gizmo there, transform gizmo, is completely off from where the pipes are at. Definitely don't want sci-fi pipes. What I'm thinking is kind of like even maybe something like this that we can throw in this gap here. Turn the lighting back off. See that we have this gap now between these concrete walls. We had the one down here and then the one down here, and so it created this natural gap. So I'm almost wondering if we create just, you know, piping that goes all the way around where you also do maybe something like this. There's a little big. Probably shrink it down. If we did this one, then now, you know, these could represent not just, you know, it could represent anything. Power, you know, internet, you know, you name it, could potentially be going through pipes. I do like the different colors, but I feel like it's a little sci-fi. I don't want to draw too much attention to this, and when we do the entire wall like that, I think it's gonna just be too much color. Massive. But I like the concept of this one because we have this one. We could do a broken pipe every once in a while. They are a little small when I shrink it down like that. I don't know if I'd want to scratch them. I don't know, what do you guys think? Leaning towards this one. Wish there was one more version. That would just perfect. Oh, they do have a... Looks like they have a longer version. Yeah, we could use these in between the 3 different versions. Do a 0.15 here, round it up. And actually, I do 5 on that one. Wonder if we could do a 0.5 on that. Not too bad. Yeah, I like this. I think this doesn't draw too much attention to the pipes. Kind of fits in there. Seems like it's natural. We can have a little bit of variety with the pipes, and so they don't look exactly the same. I'm not entirely sure what we're gonna do here. You know, if we're going to just go straight through, you know, when we set up all these other pipes, probably what we're gonna have to do. Otherwise we could maybe find something like this and have the pipe stop right before we get in there. I'm gonna create another empty game object. I'm gonna call this pipes. I'm not worried about adding all those other pipes that we did. I think I just want to really do the ones here. And this will also save us, if we put these in now, it'll save us from having to drag all these in here. So I do want to add the broken one here. What I'll do is I'll add it as a child so that it automatically positions it and scales it based off of that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Just throw some variety every once in a while. Throw a broken one. That we do have these bends. It's pretty cool. I think we would need this one. I'll add that. Not quite scale the way I want it to. We'll do this. Add it in here. This is what I'll do. Go ahead and pull it into this here. .15 across the board. Rotate that. That. 3, yep. 3. Oh. Just to avoid any major clipping, I'm gonna go ahead and just reduce that. So I think we're already looking pretty good here. I'll go ahead and add that into pipes area. I'll have to use that again. Alright, let's duplicate this one. Hopefully we don't get any clipping with all this. I think it looks good. Might go up when we do a play test, but not seeing anything for now. this one more here. Wish there was one more that where the damage was on the bottom. That would just be really ideal for this circumstance. But I'm still impressed. Like I said, I love Sid. Not gonna. I'll go ahead and grab the corner piece here. Get that prepared for the... I just feel like, doing this is very important. It's it's tedious, it's slow work, potentially boring probably to watch for sure. But it's just gonna add, the more detail we add to this bunker, the better it's gonna look. We don't want to, we want a simplistic bunker. We want a simplistic scene. We don't want it to be too crazy. But we want to be able to walk in and tell, like, whoever designed this, one, they put in a lot of time and a lot of detail into it. Put a lot of love into it, but we want it to also look like it just feels natural. It just feels like a bunker. I feel like if we just had nothing but walls, empty walls everywhere, it just wouldn't feel natural to me. Even if I can't explain what exactly these pipes do or if they're actually going to anywhere, I still think just having them here good. Add another droid one. I mean, we don't want it too often. If we really want it, I'm a huge fan of particle effects, so we could even kind of throw some steam off of this, something kind of squirting out the top. Something. Maybe even just every once in a while. If it was facing the other way, I guess even facing this way, we could potentially do like a grip And I guess even technically we can rotate this like that. My only hesitance there was just having to deal with the different y coordinates. You can see we're a perfect 3 here. Fine. Good. I think these other ones were actually upside down. I take back my earlier statements. Oh man. Maybe on this one too we can rotate this all the way around. Get some variety here. I'm just going to drag this in over here. Shelf. Noticed it's not placed very well. But at least now it looks... Oh, maybe not. That's why it wasn't placed very well, is because we don't really have anything to place it on. I think we would need to drag this up, maybe. Just a little too big. We did something like that. Now it's connected to the shelf. It makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. I would love to put that over the stove, but you know, there's just not enough room. That's gonna work. And so I'm just going to now duplicate this whole column here. Drag that. Leave some room for the curve here. I'm gonna do the same thing for this side. I know this takes a while to do, but I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. And like I promised, from start to finish, I was going to stream this entire process. So there's going to be times where it's just a little tedious, maybe a little boring. I'll do my best to keep that from happening, but you know, laying down these pipes, I think it's huge, but not the most entertaining. You know what I'll probably do is I'll just duplicate together collectively. Instead of doing it one at a time here. Duplicate this one because it's the longer one. Let's just go ahead and rotate this. Give it a little bit more variety. And then we could do maybe one more damage. And we'll rotate this one. These were supposed to be 3s. Fix that. Maybe I'll just drag this one over all the way. It's gonna make that damaged portion look bigger, which is fine. I think that'll give it a little bit of variety. There we go. Turn lighting back on. Walk around on this. See what this looks like. I think I like it. I think it's better than just having that blank space. That my character also feels a little bit bigger here. Feels like I can actually get into the chairs, the sofas a little bit better there. Better now. Yeah, I like that. Alright, so moving along, I do think we need, I mean, the pipes help a lot, but I think, like, for example, this area has a lot of just empty wall space. But, you know, it's hard because we can just scour these Cinti packs, just looking for just nothing but what can we put on the walls, you know? And we could spend hours doing this. That would probably be even more boring than the pipes and stuff. But I'm wondering if maybe we could put some posters. Low gravity though. Cool. I'm wondering if we could just find like some posters, something like that, that we could place and it'll make somewhat sense. This is a sterilization photo or poster. It would make sense if we didn't have this tarp here. Like it would kind of, hey, this is a warning. But because we're not really using it, it would make sense that it's kind of hidden, kind of behind the scenes. So I'm good with that. I didn't really want anything cheesy. This one's pretty cool, but I don't know if we can find anything for place for that. We did put some child stuff on the wall there, but I thought, we could potentially put, some posters on the wall. Amputation, awesome. Yeah, something like that. That'd be funny. I usually avoid anything in foreign languages just because I trust Cinti and I hope that they would have everybody's interest at hand, but you never know what it's saying. If you put it in your game, it's ultimately responsibility. But we could put more teenage based posters in here if we wanted. I think I saw a pirate one somewhere. I can find it again. Where it was. Just don't know, since he's been in the bunker for so long. There's the pirate one. Since he's been in the bunker for so long, the father would have had to have gotten the posters for him. Pulled him out when he became a teenager. But not sure how much I like these. Just doesn't make sense. Can't rationalize it. I'm gonna look at some signs as well. Should have quite a few options here. And I think this is where we've got the kid ones here. Kind of did want to put, maybe a sign or two out here somehow. I just don't want them to be easy, I guess. And I don't know if they really would have a sign here saying, hey, you gotta wear your hard hat. Unless this was commercialized, unless you hired a company to do this. Unless he took this bunker from somebody else. I don't know if we could do this. No, I'm not really liking that. There's some signs that do like this kind of stuff. I will say at some point, the kid going to leave the bunker, and we need to make that experience very, very epic. The opening of the doors needs to be very dramatic, and the sounds. I mean, it's got to be an experience. The light. I mean, I remember back with Fallout, or maybe Fallout 3, for example. Just when you left the bunker and when you first got out and you first had that light shine on your character, it was a pretty epic. Yeah, I don't want to copy. I don't want to copy off, what they did, but they did such a good job. We're gonna try to do something as good. Of we did have a ceiling here, but raised it with the rest of the ceiling. Either we increase the wall height here, or we one of the two. We can decide on that later. Like I say, we'll make this an epic experience. Even just opening this door, there should probably be some lights and warning stuff. Maybe you have to push multiple buttons. All that good stuff. And I wanted to put some kind of sign here. It'd be nice if it was equivalent to what we're actually doing. Like living room, kitchen, something to that extent. But we could also just do versus. We have flipping here. Oh, that. Position of the ceiling tile. Flipping in there. That'll work. Really wish, and maybe you guys can tell me if there's such a way, but I hate that the previews are slanted like this. So when I'm going through here, I gotta rotate them every single time. I wish it was the other way around. I wish standard was kind of a 90-degree angle, and then if I needed to see sides, like some of these you can tell what it is, like store, and then some of them you can't tell until you rotate. There's a lot of futuristic signs I wish I could use, but I don't think we can. This one's cool, but like I said, it's got that data language on there. At least I think it is. Could be fake. But in general, like I said, I try to avoid that if I can. Airlock. A little big, but could use something like that up here. Cool. Yeah, these you can't even tell until you flip them around. Crew, engine, escape. Maybe we don't have the airlock, we just have the exit sign. You have kitchen, locker room, medical. That's it, I guess. We got kitchen, control room, hangar, escape, engine room, crew quarters, bridge. Guess we could technically do kitchen and crew quarters. It's a little sci-fi. I don't think that's gonna work. We got some more. We got science lab. Oh, I'm using this manual. It's gonna be pretty obvious that we're gonna have ammo and guns in here. Or maybe some additional signage gives us something to decorate the walls with. It's actually a shield. It's a signed shield. Awesome. Oh man, yeah, we're just not seeing too much. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to spend too much time scouring through these. I think I'll do this one last glance. This was a wall search. There's a crap ton. Sorry about that. Alright, so I was just glancing through some of these wall prefabs. I'm just trying to find stuff that we can throw up on the walls that just help decorate things a little bit better. We already went through like posters and signs. I wasn't really seeing anything. So I don't even really know what I'm looking for, unfortunately. I'm just kind of hoping that something pops out. I mean, this type of stuff is, it's great examples, but I never would have thought to put these up there. Just something that I saw. I was like, man, yeah, that's actually a good idea. So I'm hoping that something else, kind of just stands out to me and says, hey, throw me on the wall. But again, I'm not really seeing much, and I think I'm getting down to the bottom here. I did think about adding these lights. This is kind of a standard light for bunker to me. Like I always feel like if you were in a bunker, this is what you would. But I avoided using this because I really thought it would be nice to use it as the blinking red light that's going to turn on once you open the door. So instead of using it throughout the entire bunker, I was like, hey, let's just use it for this one particular. And I think I swore we were going to use these. Oh, I use these shelves in here for the guns. But we could technically, throw some of these throughout the level and throw stuff on it as well. We just have a lot of empty space right here. We could also technically throw up tarps. I'm not sure why you would, have a tarp like this, kind of just draped up on the wall just for fun. Unless there's damage, something on the wall behind it and you wanted to cover it up. Having something like this just throws off the repeated pattern of that wall, and I think it just adds a lot to your scene here. Could technically throw a carpet up there as well. But I don't know. I think we're really gonna have to. I'd love to hear suggestions. I think we're gonna have to really think about what to put over in this general area. I think this is the biggest spot here that I think is just empty and it needs something. And then the second would be over in this corner. I think the rest of it, I think, is pretty decent. I don't really think we need anything else. So really just two places for now. So place number 1 here and place number 2 over here. Please comment, throw something in the chat, email it to me. I don't even care. Any way you get it to me. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I'd love to hear them. So I think that really concludes, the decorating part of this project, at least for this bunker scene. We added some more lighting. We added the pipes, which I think are really good, and we do still have some time left. So I'm wondering maybe now is a good opportunity to do what I was talking about earlier with opening the refrigerator. I do want to make sure that we actually want to open this refrigerator. Maybe that's this particular prop in the inside is not ideal, but it looks fairly decent. We will have to put stuff in there. That's gonna be probably something we do at a later time. And maybe we can only just open the refrigerator itself. But to do this, the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add another box collider, but this one's going to be considered a trigger. So if we edit this, we want to make it a decent size, kind of in front of the fridge, and essentially the player is going to be able to go inside of this trigger, and if that happens, we can open the fridge. Now, I did accidentally put this on the fridge door, which would not be ideal because the fridge door is going to move, and so I think it'd be better to add this to the actual fridge itself. Now we don't need, obviously, can't get in the fridge, so it only really needs to be in front of the fridge. And depending on how accurate you really want this to be, it's really up to you. Some games, you have this really wide trigger, and so you could be pretty far away and still trigger to open the fridge. Ugh, I feel like I gotta sneeze here. Other games, they want you to be more precise. Because, for example, we may want them to interact with the water jug. If we want them to interact with the water jug, we can't have the trigger bleed over into that water jug area. It needs to be just directly in front of the fridge. Also, we may be able to sit down in the chair. And if we're going to do that, we're going to need another trigger over there as well. So something like this would be ideal. Now, I will say also we are now going to animate this object, so it's no longer considered static. It's now going to be considered dynamic. I'm going to move this over into this new folder. We now need to keep track of this a little bit better. And so we're basically going to say, if the player enters this, we're going to pop up with something, hey, push F, open the fridge. And the UI is probably going to look pretty crappy. It's not going to be ideal. It's probably not going to be what we're going to keep, but at least it'll show the example, and it'll be kind of a placeholder for what we want to do in the future. So let's start off by create a Playmaker script, and we're going to add it to this fridge here. And we're going to say, have a trigger event here. So we're going to have if the player triggers this collider here, then we're going to do something. Now, for those of you guys who haven't been watching some of the earlier streams, this is Playmaker. Playmaker is amazing. It's a visual scripting solution for Unity. It's not a free solution. You will have to pay like $60 going to like the Unity Asset Store. But it's amazing. I definitely recommend it. I've been using it for years. There's tons of tutorials. It's very flexible, very, very easy. It's really quick. And I love using it, so definitely take a look if you can. I set my watermark, so watermarks are for, like, if you're going to work on a part of a team and everybody's creating different FSMs or Playmaker scripts, you can kind of tag that particular script as your own. So I always use the very first one, which is like the alien. So everybody on my team knows, hey, Josh is the alien, and he's the one who created this. So if I messed it up, they could hit me up and say, hey, why'd you mess this up? Or what were you thinking? This, I usually just name these idles because they're not going to do anything until until the player actually triggers something. I'm going to call this fridge. Let's do fridge trigger. And so once the player enters into this trigger here, it's going to fire off this other state. And so let's take a look at that. Make sure it's working properly. So I'm going to go ahead and walk over or run to this area here. So I should be inside the trigger right now as we speak. If we look at Playmaker, it's not working. Nothing's happened. We are on trigger enter. The reason for this is because we do not have a rigid body assigned to our player. I really don't want rigid body on player. But we may be able to fake it here. If we go over to our character here and we add a rigid body, and I almost just leave the mass at 1, I guess. I don't want to use gravity. We could end up having some interesting effects to the body. But I'm gonna pause this and I'm gonna dock Playmaker over here. I want to see this now live. We run over. Yeah, still not getting. Try another one. We also have this collision event. And we can collide again with player, and we're going to send this. Sometimes I get the trigger event and the collision event mixed up. But one of these is going to be, I promise. Eventually. Run back over there. Nope. Huh. The fridge. Wonder if this other box collider is throwing off this locally. Now, I do want to verify that our character actually has the. There's our issue. We're not even tagged player here. I could have swore, but then I forgot that we redid our player controllers. There we go. So it was originally, like I said, the trigger events. Let's go ahead and remove that rigid body. Now I want to show you what happens if you don't have the rigid body. It works. So you don't need that. And corrected. So we have the trigger event. It's triggering a state, and what we're gonna want it to do is pop up some kind of UI. So we have our canvas here. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new panel here. And I'm just gonna say, man, just say action pop-up. So if we go into 2D mode here, we go into 2D mode and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this pop-up. We don't need any alpha to it, to the panel itself. We're going to, we don't need it to be as big as entire screen or canvas. We'll probably still center it. We can fine tune that eventually. And we're gonna just add a text Mesh Pro element. For now, it's just gonna say like testing. So if we go back to the game view, you can see exactly where it's at. And so if we push play, that's generally where it's gonna go up. So that's gonna be fine, I think. So you don't need this toggled on right now. And if we go back to Playmaker, go back to that fridge, we're going to want to do a couple things. One, we're going to want to activate that we're going to want to activate that text. And because I'm dragging in this reference, I always mark it blue here just so I know. So we're going to want to activate, we're going to want to turn it on so it shows up. And then we're also going to want to set what that text says based off of, you know, what we're interacting with. So we're going to go ahead and drag in the actual Text Mesh Pro, and we're going to set the string value. I'm going to put click S, go down to text, string, and we're going to just say something generic. Press F. Turn off to open. Something like that. Should work. And then we also want, at any minute, we want a separate trigger event that says if the player exits the triggered area that we now do something else. So I'm gonna say, I don't know, call it turn off. We'll add that transition. So I duplicate this. I'm gonna call it deactivate. And we don't really need to set the property, but we do need to turn this off. And I don't need that transition. But once it's finished, we want it to go back to the initial start stage. So it's gonna, if you walk in, it's gonna say something, but if you walk back out, it's going to turn off. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. So we run over, get into the fridge, bam, press F to open. Now it's not ideal, you can see it kind of dragged over to the next line. We'll fix that. But if I leave now, it's gone. It works pretty good. So let's fix that some more. What we're gonna do is go back in. this text here. Now you can see when we want this center aligned, and then let's just increase the size of this. Just so it has space. We can auto size it, which probably would be the best way to deal with it. That way, no matter how much text we input into this Text Mesh Pro component, it'll stay within the limits of our boundaries. So that's ideally the way to do it. I think for now we'll leave it like this. I'll go ahead and disable that. Take a look. On over here. Press F to open. Perfect. But now we want to actually do something if the player presses F. So now I'm going to call this player in zone. He's in range to activate the fridge. But if he leaves, it's going to turn it off. He's out of the zone and it's going to deactivate. But if he's inside the zone still, we're going to want it to listen for a certain button, and that's the F button. So if we scroll down here, eventually we get to the alphabet. F is one word we're listening to. We could use E too. Some people use E for like action, some people use F. One's fine. But we're gonna say, hey, if the player is in this zone still, and he presses the F button down, this is what you're. I'm gonna say button pressed. Our new event. I'm gonna add a new state. Now we're gonna go down to this if he presses the button. And what are we gonna do if we press the button? We're gonna open the fridge. Now, a couple ways we can do this. We can open the fridge, and then if the player leaves the zone, the triggered area, box collider, the fridge automatically closes. Or we can say the player can just leave the fridge open, and if he comes right back, he can then close it on his own. Do it either way. I think in general, maybe leaving it open would be ideal. So then, if that's the case, we are going to need a Boolean, a true or false. So with this Boolean value, we're just going to say it is open. Is the fridge open? True or false? And so you can see we immediately said press F. But what if the fridge is already? We're going to have to do a bool check. That is the fridge. We call this a bool test. Boolean value is open, and then we're going to have two different events. We're going to say if it's open, do this. Not open, do this. We can even, a lot of times with my guys, sometimes it's best to just name this state the name of your Boolean value. So we know exactly what this is doing. I don't even really have to click on it. So we're going to start off doing that as soon as is the fridge open? If the fridge is not open, we would have false. Then we're going to display press F to open. Press F, then going to eventually open. I try to keep these fairly organized. And for those of you who don't know or aren't familiar with Playmaker, you can hold control and it snaps these states kind of predetermined, lined up. And then we're going to copy this whole entire thing here, put it over to this side. So if we're going to say, hey, if this is true, fridge actually is open. Now we're going to change this to this. That's if the player exits the zone. That's fine. We can actually change the direction of this this transition. You can see we can lock it to the left. I like that with Playmaker. Pretty cool. And then this one would be called. So I think we're doing pretty well. And then one thing also, if we do open it, we're going to want to change that Boolean value. So we're going to say set Boolean value. Set this. On this side, we would set this false. Now, if we look back at the fridge itself, attitude, have this door and this freezer. Let's just go ahead and add an animator to this. I'll go into animations. I'm going to create a new animation. We're going to call it fridge. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and record. And I don't know if you remember from my earlier streams, but I always start at about 2 seconds usually. And I adjust it from there, but at about 2 seconds, we want fridge door probably somewhere to that extent. Maybe we need to adjust that. Go back and looks like I will go in folder. Fridge open always gets created with a we don't want. And then we have this new animator here called fridge open. I'm going to adjust this animator just a little bit. So I'm going to create an empty state. I'll call this idle. This is where our default. Now we're going to have two different triggers. We're going to have an open trigger. So when player opens it, we're going to send that open trigger. Don't need an exit time. We want it to do. Then we're going to just copy this other animation here. This is kind of a secret. Instead of creating both an open and a close animation, we can create an open one. And then what we would do is we would just reverse the speed, -1 on this close. New transition here with the close trigger. And then once it's closed, we want to go back to that idle state. So this works pretty well. We're going to go back into Playmaker. So now when we open it, we're going to send that trigger. If you type in trigger, you can see Playmaker already has a nice action for this called set animator trigger. Want to actually, we can just use our owner, put it on the actual fridge itself. And click on this line here, we can say we were in preview mode still, so it's showing up red. We'll copy this over to here and we'll do close instead. Both of these, once it's finished, how do we want to do this? We're going to go back to the idle stage here. But now we're going to need that same concept here, where if the player leaves and when it's in this idle state, that we deactivate. Now technically these two deactivate states are exactly the same, so we don't need two of them. Actually get rid of one. I've seen it, I mean, not that big a deal. Easier to read, have two different states, and that's fine. In general, we want to be able to follow the arrows, and we want to be able to see what it does. If I were to send this turn off all the way across to this side, to this deactivate, it works, but it might be a little bit more confusing, especially with this particular case built on this open value. We're doing one set of objects if it's true and one set of objects if it's true. So I think this will work pretty well. Let's go ahead and test. Now we're going to come in over here, press F to open, pushed F. So now you can see it opened. If we come back, now it says F to close, and push F again. Back, open, F to close. So now, even if we stay in here, you can see it's staying in that idle state. When I leave, it go ahead and just fires off, deactivate really, really fast. This is exactly what we want. It doesn't even push the player out of the way. That's kind of cool. But I am curious why it didn't fire off immediately. I want to take a look at that real quick and see if it was. See, we went in here, press F, and oh, I think it's because I wasn't clicked on. Try it again. I'm clicking on the game. Oh, you know what it is? That is also the focus button for Unity. It's a shortcut. I think that's what it is. We change this. I think that would get rid of that concept. You wouldn't even notice any difference in if we actually built the game and you were playing it on your PC. You wouldn't notice it. You'd be playing it outside of Unity. Shortcut. But of course, we're going to play test this a lot. I want to be able to test it just fine. I have to always test it build mode. I don't want to have to build it every time. Now press E to open. I will say another issue is that now you can see it's open, but since we're back in this idle here, and we never actually left the trigger. The issue now is I can't close it. I'd have to leave, come back in. Now it closes. Let's see if we can think of a way to do that, because the player never actually leaves the zone, and so we don't necessarily want this open and close animation to immediately go back to this thing. We may want it to go to the opposite state here. So if you open it, now it's gonna go here, and it's gonna say, hey, push E to close, and close it, and now these lines get a little more confusing here. Stretch them out just to show this. I think we could potentially do something like this. That might help things a little bit better. Yeah, doesn't look too bad. Let's try that again. Now, we run over to it, press E to open. If we press E, it immediately changes to close. And if we leave and come back, it'll still say close, but if we push E, I can sit here and open and close it while I'm in the zone very easy. Oh, perfect. I think that works really well. I think, we made some pretty good progress. We're going to want to now take that same concept with the fridge, kind of apply it to a lot of other things. Maybe we can open the cabinets, maybe we can sit in the chairs, maybe we can turn the TV off and on, maybe we can turn the radio off and on. And we haven't even incorporated any kind of sounds into this. That's something we could potentially look at as well. Even this wash station, we could probably close that lid, open and close the doors. You name it. We could even put light switches on the walls if we wanted. Turn off and on lights. We have a lot of stuff still potentially do. Turn off on the fan even if we wanted. The more stuff we can interact with, I think, the better. But I will say that I'm going to leave it at that for today. And so once again, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate all the help and support and feedback. And stay tuned for our next episode.